from Iraqi Democrats Against Occupation, Sabah Jawad, joins us from London to tell us his thoughts on this. Sabah Jawad, it's not new news. It is becoming increasingly evident that there are regional countries, of which the alleged countries are Turkey, Saudi Arabia, and Qatar, in the lead in terms of putting this sectarianism into Iraq, given a rise to al-Qaeda. Is that what is going on?
Well, this is one factor, a very important factor, actually, if it's what's going on in Iraq. I mean, you know, the attention and the intention of Qatar, Turkey, and Saudi Arabia, and even the Americans, actually, to make Iraq change its positions regarding Syria. And they're utilizing the issue of sectarianism, not only in Iraq, but they, you know, as we know, they're using it in Syria and Lebanon and elsewhere, and Bahrain, as a pretext to maintain influence and division in the Middle East. This is what the American created in Iraq, trying to ignite division and you know, sectarianism and ineffective kind of states in the Middle East. But there are so many other factors beside the plotting by Qatar and Turkey and the United States against the positions of the Iraqi government. Recently, the Iraqi government forces tried to exert some control on the frontiers with Syria, because this frontier has been utilized by Al-Qaeda and people who are supporting so-called revolutionaries in Syria to pass arms and assistance and terrorists to Syria. The Iraqi government wanted to control this, and this is what actually happened in the past few weeks. But there are genuine demands, not only by the demonstrators in so-called Sunni areas, but also in the rest of Iraq. We've seen on many occasions, actually, that Shia demonstrators taken to the street and demanding better access, better services, more jobs, and so on. So there are a lot of issues behind this latest things. But the whole picture seems that the government is coming out from one crisis and entering into another crisis. Now it's almost a breaking point between the ruling alliance, even the so-called Shia alliance. As-Sadr people are complaining about al-Maliki conduct, and al-Hakim is complaining about Maliki conduct. There are participants in the so-called political process are withdrawing from the political process. There is a conflict, continuous conflict with parliament. There is a continuous conflict with the regional government in Kurdistan. So there are a lot of vested interest and you know, plots to undermine Iraq and to keep it to this permanent state of weakness. So the American will still exert a huge influence on the affairs of Iraq.
And quickly, if you can, is Prime Minister Nouri al-Maliki going to come out of this?
Sorry, what's al-Maliki?
Al-Maliki, is he going to be coming out?
How can he get?
Al-Maliki, is he going to come out of this zone that he's in, all these different flames that he has to put out?
Well, he has to change track on things. Actually, he cannot continue in this state of affairs. He has to either disband parliament and call for a new election, or do something else, actually, because this situation is not producing any kind of stability, whether in relationship with other political parties in the political process, or even the security situation. The security situation is deteriorating all the time in Iraq. We've seen huge bombs blasts taking place all over the place. Innocent people are being killed, demonstrators being attacked, but also these demonstrators are infiltrated probably by former Ba'athists, by jihadists, by people on Al-Qaeda, and financed. Only yesterday, the government announced actually that they discovered new evidence and documentation which supports the Qatari interference in Iraq, the issue of interference in Iraq. Apparently they're paying millions of pounds to tribal leader to go on demonstration and to create create anarchy in Iraq as well. So there are regional powers. The Americans want to keep top of what's happening in Iraq, but also the government has to do something to get out of this mess that's the whole thing is called political process.
Very well. Thank you very much for that. Sabah Jawad from the Iraqi Democrats Against Occupation talking to us from London. It's good to see you.